everyone, my name is Veronica. Thanks for joining me today. I'm going to be talking about 10 fragrances that have a prominent warm, spicy accord that is perfect for the fall weather as things are cooling down and you're pulling out your sweaters and your leather boots and your light jackets and all of those things and going to fall festivals, we hope, going pumpkin picking, getting your spiced latte from Starbucks. Don't front, you know you like spiced lattes. Pumpkin spice in particular. Yes, I know there's this whole body of haters out there that just can't stand pumpkin spice. I respect that. It does get irritating, but I still like pumpkin spice. In the 10 fragrances that I'm going to talk with you about, and I do have an honorable mention, there's a warm, spicy accord that just reminds me of the fall. If you think about maybe a cup of coffee and sprinkling a little bit of pumpkin pie spice in it or something like that, it's in that range. It reminds you of something spicy baking in the oven, something with cinnamon in it, that family of fragrances. Let's dive in. The first fragrance I want to talk about is an honorable mention, more so because it is also aromatic, but there's something warm and spicy about it at the same time that made me want to include it in the video. It's from a new fragrance house called City Rhythm. And the fragrance that I have is Manhattan Midnight. It looks like this. This runs about $105 for a 55 ml bottle. I'll put the link down below. They're new. Go check them out and see what you think. It has 50% extrait concentration, which I think is important to note and something that attracted me to the fragrance. The fragrance has some cinnamon, some tea, bergamot, tobacco leaf, vanilla, and a cedar note. It's really pleasant. It's on the lighter side to me. Some people may find this strong, but for me, it's on the lighter side, but it's warm and spicy and comforting. Maybe it's the tobacco in here, and maybe it's the vanilla and the tobacco together that remind me of something warm and spicy that's in the kitchen, even though we don't think of tobacco as like a kitchen spice. The combination of that with the cinnamon is probably what's making me want to mention this as an honorable mention. Number one in my lineup, it is Starlight Shimmer from Michael Kors. I just have this little bottle here. The reason that I put this first is because it has rose in it, which distracts for me a little bit from the warm and spicy, but that warm and spicy still comes through. There's a saffron note in here, and it's ambery as well. There's probably some other notes that aren't readily available on Fragrantica, and I'm too lazy to go look for it elsewhere, but I'm getting warm kitchen spice out of this. It's very rich, but also quite wearable, something that I think would be comfortable for running around this fall if you want something warm and spicy, but not like overpowering, for running errands, for doing parent pickup, for going to fall sporting events. So that's Starlight Shimmer from Michael Kors, a really nice, simple, warm, spicy fragrance. Second on the list is a fragrance I learned about through Joss Jane. We did a sample swap, and I'm so glad that she introduced me to this fragrance. I still can't pronounce the house. I think it's Biehl Parfumkunstwerke. Parfumkunstwerke. Failed, hashtag fail. But the fragrance is called EO01. This immediately took me to baking with spices inside of whatever it is that I'm baking. Like bread with cinnamon in it, bread with some kind of nutmeg. Do we put nutmeg in bread? I don't know, but if all of that was wrapped up into an oven, it might smell like this. It reminds me of pumpkin pie spices and Thanksgiving. This is one that I will definitely be wearing as it gets cooler into the later fall. However, what I really like about this fragrance is that it's very light on the skin. It is not cloying at all, so it's one that you can wear to family events or where you're going to be in close quarters with other people and you want to smell warm and spicy, but you don't want to be cloying. EO01 is a good choice. On the contrary, if you want a fragrance that's warm and spicy and great for fall nights, that takes things a little bit deeper, amps it up, and is more sort of on the sexy side, you may want to go for Coco Noir from Chanel. This is a beauty. I really enjoy this. It's warm and spicy in a sultry way, whereas this is like an innocent kitchen spice. This is like nighttime spice. You know what I mean? It really is just a lovely fragrance. It has a clove note. It has tonka bean. it has patchouli, it has sandalwood, and it has some other floral notes and other deeper notes to sort of amp the whole thing up. This is a pretty complex fragrance, but it's just beautiful and very mature. Coco Noir, excellent for fall evenings. The next one is probably from my all-time favorite line in my collection, and it's Santal Kardamon from Maison Lancome. I have the old bottles with the two plates, one on one side, and then the metal plate that gives you a sense of what the fragrance is like. It has a prominent note of cardamom, which comes across so warm and spicy when accompanied by the vanilla. It has a little bit of leather in there as well that adds some depth, some pepper, and even a liquor note. And I think that this is just a beautiful, elegant fragrance for any time of year, but especially for the fall. And it has a beautiful sandalwood note in there that is just phenomenal to me. What I love most about this fragrance is that it is deep and interesting and different without being too odd or cloying. It's beautiful for sweater weather. It'll hold its own on your body if you want to wear it to the office. Don't overspray. It's not a beast mode fragrance or anything like that, but a little of this will do you well. A few sprays and you're good to go. It lasts a long time and it does really well on skin and on clothing. For the next one, while warm and spicy is maybe not a top accord for it, it does read to my nose really pleasant on the softer side of warm and spicy. It's Pie from Givenchy, and this is marketed toward men, but in my eyes, this is very unisex. It's a softer, spicy fragrance, has maybe even a touch of soapiness in it, like just a little itty bitty smidge. It has rosemary and tarragon and some other maybe savory spices. But there's something about this that comes across ever so lightly and elegantly as a warm, spicy fragrance that's wonderful for the fall. This is also one that's great for summer if you want something like that, like in that realm, but for hot weather situations. I think this is one that I will probably be wearing on the weekends. This is a great like fall t-shirt fragrance. Pie Givenchy. Next, I'm going to talk about Tobacco Vanille from Pendora Scents, which is clearly an inspiration of Tobacco Vanille from Tom Ford. I mean, unashamedly so. That said, this is an affordable option if you're looking for a Tobacco Vanille type of fragrance. Are they a one-for-one dupe? No. Will most people in the air be able to tell much of a difference? Probably not. You'd have to really study the fragrances side by side to see the difference. There is a difference, and it is notable if you understand both fragrances. This is, I think, quite beautiful. Some people get root beer out of this, which I love. I think that's so interesting and kind of funny. I get warm and spicy. I can see the root beer thing. I get warm and spicy soda. So, combined with tobacco, a heavy tobacco note in here. If you don't like tobacco, you would probably hate this. I think it's a softer tobacco in here than you might get in maybe some other fragrances that have tobacco and oud and incense and lots of smokiness to them. This is not heavily smoky. It stays on the lighter side, and that's why I feel comfortable wearing it. I do, by the way, if you're watching me for the first time, I like a wide variety of fragrances, and I do like fragrances that lean ever so slightly masculine. That doesn't bother me at all. So this is one that isn't, highly feminine, but has enough in the middle to the feminine side for those ladies that maybe want something warm and spicy. If you're not afraid of tobacco, this might be a good choice for you. And it's inexpensive. I purchased this bottle probably for in the range of between $25 and $35. I don't remember exactly. It's becoming a little bit more expensive based on demand. So check it out. Just shop online. I'm sure it's available on Amazon as well. Next is a newer one to my collection that I am falling in love with more and more every time I sniff it. It's 5 o'clock Gingembre from Serge Lutens. Ooh wee. I really like this so much. It has warm and spicy as a top accord and cinnamon as a prominent accord as well. It's very much like a spiced tea fragrance. If you've ever had rooibos tea, I've had rooibos tea in South Africa, straight like fresh rooibos tea mixed with ginger and mixed with chai tea. If you combine those together, you'll get a sense of what this smells like. Spicy, but in a soft way, very delicate and elegant, yet warm and spicy, which is what this video is about. Okay, this next one is close to my heart. It is another dupe for Tobacco Vanille from Tom Ford, but even better than the Pendora Scents version and different from it. Whereas this is more, like I said, on that sort of soda root beer end of Tobacco Vanille. This is on the more sultry, sexy side. It is Al Haramain Amber Oud, the Tobacco Edition. My goodness, why would anyone spend the Tobacco Vanille dollars when you can get this and it is just about an exact dupe? I challenge anyone to tell me the difference between the two. Only those people that are deep, deep, deep into the perfume world, who sit there and analyze side by side for 20 minutes, will be able to detect the differences between the two. They come in these elegant bottles. There's 3 in the series from this. I think it's just 3. There is the Rouge, the Gold, and the Tobacco. And all 3 are phenomenal. This is the definition of warm and spicy and cinnamon and vanilla and tobacco all mixed up into one. This is a beast mode fragrance. It's a powerhouse. It projects. It fills up the room. It lasts forever. You'll wake up the next morning. It'll still be wafting through the air. And all for the low, low price of something like $50 to $60. Now, these are becoming also more in demand. So if you like this, you like that idea, make sure you get one and maybe even get a backup, because I guarantee you these are probably going to continue to inch up in price because people are learning about these and learning they can get these at really reasonable prices and have incredible performance and wonderful quality here. Al Haramain Amber Oud Tobacco Edition. A recent fave of mine that I am so proud to have in my collection because I was able to join the master class, Antoine Lee, with Maison Sybarite. The fragrance is 720. It was my favorite from the line. Really quickly about this house, their big thing is that the fragrances are water-based. They're the first company to do that. It's not oil-based, it's not alcohol-based or any of that, it's water-based. Even though they're water-based, they're still pretty creamy and rich and luscious. I was expecting it to be watered down when I heard that. Watered down. See what I did there? But when you spray it on, it is just this luscious, beautiful fluid. It comes out white. Let me show you what I mean. That's not what the video is about, Veronica, but show the people. See how it's white? But you can actually rub it in without damaging any of the top notes because there isn't alcohol in it. This fragrance here is spices in an oven. It is cinnamon bread with raisins in it. There's just something so lovely and beautiful and light and airy about it at the same time. It's got substance, yet it's not overpowering. It's like the most subtle, beautiful, spicy scent. I really enjoy this. 720. It's a winner. The next fragrance is, in my opinion, the king of warm, spicy fragrances, or maybe the queen. It is Angel's Share by Kilian. Boy, is this just a beautiful fragrance. I love it and think it is worth the money, my personal opinion. It does happen to last on me. Some people complain that it doesn't. I think it lasts beautifully on me. And I just adore this fragrance. It's one that I can't get enough of. I spray it and I'm sniffing and I'm sniffing and I'm sniffing. It has a beautiful liquor note in it. It's cognac at the top, which is just so delicious, accompanied by the vanilla. It has a cinnamon accord. There's tonka bean in it. There's praline. There's sandalwood. It is just so luscious and reminds me of everything I love about fall. So there's not apples in this, right? But it reminds me of being in an area where there are candied apples, maybe apple pie baking, plus mulled cider, plus some liquors, plus really rich wines being tasted. If all of that were combined into one room, it would be to me what this smells like. And I just adore it. It is my top choice for a warm, spicy fragrance for fall. I hope that you enjoyed this video. Please let me know what you think of these picks. And if you have a warm and spicy fragrance that you would recommend to all of our friends watching this video, please drop it in the comments. Thank you so much for spending time with me. I'll see you in the next one. Take care, friends.